So, we're getting to the end of the year, and with that, it's almost time to start looking at next year, 2025, and start making our end-of-year list. The best movies of 2024, and of course, one of my favorite videos to make every year, my most anticipated movies of 2025, which is starting to shape up to be a pretty strong year for film. 2024 was a year that I thought was going to be a weaker year. It turned out to be somewhat strong, but 2025 certainly looks to be a massive step up, at least on paper, when it comes to how many movies and the types of movies we're getting. And one movie that I've really been looking forward to, that now we have a trailer out that I want to talk about, of course, is 28 Years Later. Now, this is, of course, a threequel for a weird sort of trilogy of movies we now have called 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, now 28 Years Later. It's sort of a zombie trilogy about a zombie breakout. If you haven't seen the other movies, they're sort of loosely connected films about the breakout of an apocalypse. The first one taking place 20 days later after the breakout, the second one taking place 28 weeks, and this one taking 28 years, the long-awaited sequel, the threequel that has taken forever to come out. These films are all written by Alex Garland, who of course just recently wrote and directed Civil War. He also is responsible for Ex Machina. He's just one of the best writers in Hollywood. He is not directing this newer one, but he did write it. This is a long-awaited movie. 28 Days Later is a cult classic. It's a movie that I personally love. It stars Cillian Murphy, and it's just a really good zombie thriller. A little bit different than what you'd usually expect from that genre, but just a solid movie. 28 Weeks Later, I always thought was a little bit of a weaker film, but it's still a film that I thought was enjoyable. And of course, we've waited years now to get this one that we thought would be 28 months later, because that would have been more logical, but now it's 28 years, and we have the trailer, and my god, is this not one of the best trailers ever? Now, before I gush too much about this movie and my anticipation for it, listen, a trailer does not maketh a movie. Just look at Disney. They make some of the most banger trailers out there. All of the Star Wars trailers, all of the Marvel trailers. They are unbelievable at making trailers. I mean, the Captain America New World Order trailers look unbelievably good. Is the movie going to be unbelievably good? I have my doubts. But to the marketing team responsible for editing together this trailer, bravo. This is one of the best trailers I've ever seen, ever. It is just incredible at building the vibe of what 28 Years Later is going to be. The look, the feel, and the terror. Now, the idea of 28 Days Later is really interesting. To follow a zombie apocalypse almost 3 decades into its birth and follow characters in that world. Explore what does that world look like. Now, the closest thing that we've gotten to this, I think, in storytelling has been The Last of Us. Because The Last of Us, although it's not really a zombie breakout, it's about this infected sort of apocalypse that has happened, and we jump about, 20 years into it, so we're pretty deep into the apocalypse, so we're studying a world that has adjusted itself to what's going on, and that is the vibe I got from this trailer. This trailer, it felt like The Last of Us. It actually felt more like The Last of Us to me than The Last of Us on HBO felt, if that's a weird thing to say. It just felt like the original vibe I got from playing that game. This movie seems to be following Aaron Taylor Johnson, who of course is famous for playing Kraven the Hunter, and a lot of other things that he's better at. He also might be James Bond, but he's the main guy here, and he's got this kid, and they seem to be a part of some community, and they've left this community to go do something. What that is, we don't know yet, but they explore the outside and they run into a lot of creepy, terrible problems. They run into zombies, it looks like, and it might even be some evil, bad people. Typical zombie movie stuff, right? You deal with the zombies and you also deal with the bad people that are created by the zombie world and other survivors trying to live. The vibes and everything about this are terrifying. There is one incredible shot of like a hillside and there's a bunch of, I don't know if they're zombies or people, but they're just silhouettes and they start running towards the camera. That is brilliant filmmaking right there. But just the whole vibe, the set pieces, everything about this felt exactly like what I love about movies and stories in this sort of world. This just feels amazing and just right. I don't know what the story's going to be between Aaron Taylor Johnson and this kid, if it's truly going to be like a Last of Us type thing, if it's going to be a father, son, a brother. I don't know. I don't know any of the story here, but I just know the vibe, which is what this trailer's trying to sell. It's trying to sell the vibe, the aesthetic, the visual style, the cinematography, the direction, it all looks top-notch here, and I trust Alex Garland to deliver on the story front, because this guy knows how to write. Something else this trailer had was Ralph Fiennes looking like just a lunatic and a badass. He's in this movie. How exciting is that? You got a creepy person in a mask. You have a dude that might be a zombie hanging upside down. You have a Cillian Murphy looking zombie that apparently isn't Cillian Murphy. Now, Cillian Murphy is in this movie, supposedly, and it has been 28 years since we last saw this character, and Cillian Murphy doesn't really look 28 years older. So I'm interested to see how his character's going to return. I thought it might be a fun way for it to be a zombie, but then again, why would they spoil that in the trailer? But apparently they didn't, because he's not that zombie. So we'll see how Cillian Murphy shows up. But I'm just really excited for this movie. It's got a pretty big budget, I think around $75 million. Danny Boyle is a really good filmmaker, and this trailer just got me really, really pumped for this. This is a movie that probably was going to rank, if I made a top 20 most anticipated list of next year. Will it be a top 20? I don't know. Subscribe to find out. But say it was a top 20, this film was going to be ranking about, in the 15 to 10, in between that area. Now this might be top 5. This might be one of my top 5 most anticipated movies of next year because this looks truly special. It looks incredible. It looks like it was made with a lot of love. And I just can't wait. This trailer is epic. And yet again, a trailer does not maketh a movie. So maybe the movie ends up being a complete waste of time and the trailer just goes down in history as one of those great trailers to a not so great film. But my God, the marketing team, y'all deserve raises because you did your job. I am pumped for this, and I cannot wait to see it. Thank you guys for watching. What do you think of 28 years later? Let me know down below. I'll see you in the next one.